Hello everyone, this is your stimulus update for Wednesday, June 3rd. This video is for anyone that still hasn't received their first stimulus check of $1,200 from the CARES Act. And mainly I'm going to be focusing on those with SSI, SSDI, Social Security retirement, Social Security survivors, VA benefits, and Railroad Retirement Benefits recipients. So if you haven't received your stimulus check and you're wondering what are my options to find out more information, or what are my options that I can do for my first stimulus payment, then this video is for you. I'm going to share 5 options that you have. To those of you that have already subscribed to my community, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching once again. To those that haven't subscribed already, my name is Justin and I do daily stimulus check updates. So if you want to get daily stimulus check updates, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified each and every time I post a new video. Also, please click the like button so that YouTube will share this video with others. And as always, if you have any questions that I didn't answer in this video, be sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer them in the comments or in a future video. And I will include timestamps for each video section so that you can go to just the section you're interested in, and I'll leave those in the description below. I want to give you a disclaimer to start. No YouTuber, including me, can tell you exactly when you're going to receive your stimulus payment. I'm going to give you 5 options that are currently available for you for your stimulus payment. The first option is the Get My Payment tool. Now I know most of you hate the Get My Payment tool and have not found it helpful at all. But the Get My Payment tool is the one thing at your disposal that can be specifically about your situation and your stimulus payment. So check the Get My Payment tool. And if you haven't had any luck in getting into the Get My Payment tool, I'm going to give you some tips right now to help you get in and get you at least some information from the Get My Payment tool. So make sure when you're entering your address into the Get My Payment tool that you abbreviate the street suffixes, and by that I mean road, street, anything that's like a direction like east, west, north, and south. Make sure you're abbreviating those. For street, it should be ST, road, RD, east, E, north, N, south, S, west, W, but all of those should be abbreviated when you're entering in your address. I've found that if you don't abbreviate those, then the Get My Payment tool will tell you that the information does not match our records. Even though the address looks exactly the same, if you're not abbreviating those street suffixes and those directions like north, south, east, and west, then the Get My Payment tool will not recognize your address. The other trick that I have found is you can Google your address and use the address that Google gives you as the address you enter into the Get My Payment tool. That way, it's the most common address and should be formatted the way the Get My Payment tool is looking for your address. And in addition, if you have a representative payee, you need to use the representative payee's address along with your social security number and your birth date. So if you get those tips and you get into the Get My Payment tool, and the Get My Payment tool then tells you payment status not available, that means that the IRS is still processing your payment and does not have a payment date for you yet. Payment status not available does not mean that you are not eligible. It simply means the IRS is still processing your payment and that they do not have a payment date for you at this time. But try those tips to get you into the Get My Payment tool and hopefully a payment date. Let me know if that helped you, if some of those tips helped you to actually get into the Get My Payment tool and you weren't able to before. So the second option I have for you is to call the IRS. And next to the Get My Payment tool, I think the phone numbers for the IRS are probably one of the most frustrating things that people have experienced while trying to get their stimulus payment information. But once again, I have had a lot of people in the comment section that have actually gotten through to a representative that was able to help them on the IRS phone numbers. So I would suggest, if you have a unique situation, something other than I'm on SSI or SSDI, where is my payment? Or a unique situation that you don't have an answer to, then I would call the IRS and give it a chance. If you were supposed to receive your payment a while ago, and the Get My Payment tool already has a date in the past, and it was weeks ago, and you still haven't received your payment, you're going to need to call the IRS to figure out what's going on. Nobody can give you an answer other than the IRS if you're in that situation. So give them a call, Be patient because it's frustrating, and I know there's a lot of people that have tried these numbers and have never received any help at all. But if you have a unique situation and a unique question, then you need to call the IRS and get an answer from them. Only they can give you the answers. But just know that a lot of people haven't had much luck with the phone numbers, but there are people that have. So the next option I have for you is the non-filers tool. So if you receive SSI, SSDI, Social Security retirement, Social Security survivors, VA benefits, or railroad retirement benefits, you do not have to use the non-filers tool if you started receiving those benefits before the start of 2020. However, if you started receiving those benefits after the start of 2020, you must use the non-filers tool. And in addition, if you do not receive any of those benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, VA, or railroad retirement benefits, and you do not file taxes, you must use the non-filers tool to get your stimulus payment. That is, of course, if you are not required to file taxes. Additionally, if someone claimed you on their taxes in 2018 and then did not claim you in 2019, and they are not filing taxes in 2019, then I would suggest to use the Get My Payment tool. Otherwise, the IRS is going to have to wait until taxes are not filed. If somebody was claiming you in 2018 and not claiming you in 2019, and they didn't already file taxes, I would use the non-filers tool to enter your information so that the IRS knows that you are no longer claimed as a dependent. I've also had others that received these benefits and have used the non-filers tool even though they were not required to use it. And as long as you are not required to file taxes, you may use the non-filers tool. There's no requirement that says you shouldn't use it or that you can't use it. So you can use the non-filers tool if you do not have to file taxes. But make sure if you have to file taxes, don't use the non-filers tool or it will delay your tax return and your stimulus payment. But if you receive one of those government benefits I mentioned before, you don't have to use the non-filers tool, but it is an option. The next option is to check the paper check mailing dates. You may be getting a paper check or an EIP debit card. And the reasons why you may receive a paper check or an EIP debit card are you already receive a paper check for your government benefit, you filed taxes, but you do not get a tax return, you actually pay taxes, then the IRS does not have your direct deposit information to send you money, or if you use the non-filers tool to enter information and you did not add a bank account to the non-filers tool, you will also receive a paper check or EIP debit card. If you live outside the US and you do not have a US-based bank account where you receive your government benefits, then the IRS will not send your stimulus payment to a non-US based bank. They will only send it direct deposit to a US-based bank. So if you live outside of the US and you do not have a US-based bank for your benefits or for a tax return, then the IRS will mail you a paper check or an EIP debit card. So you need to check the paper check mailing dates if you fit any of those situations. And the last reason why you may receive a paper check or an EIP debit card is if the IRS processed your payment, sent a direct deposit to a bank, which was then rejected, then the IRS will receive that money back and will then send you a paper check or an EIP debit card in the mail because the direct deposit was rejected. I've added a paper check mailing date schedule to my website, so if you check that out in the description below. The last option I have for you is probably the least helpful of all the options I've given, and that's why I saved it for last, and that is just wait. The IRS is sending these paper checks out, they're sending direct deposits out, but there are a lot of people that still have not received their stimulus payments. June 3rd was supposed to be kind of another big date, but I've received so many comments already this morning, and it's June 3rd, that have still not received their stimulus payments. So just know you are not alone. There are thousands, if not millions of others that still haven't received their stimulus payments. And the IRS is sending them out kind of in batches and weekly batches usually on Wednesdays. So if you didn't get one today, June 10th is probably the next logical date for you to see your payment. Obviously, if you don't get it then it's just another waiting game. And I know this is incredibly frustrating and you wish you could get some answers. If you've tried all of those other options I've given before in this video, there's really not much else you can do other than wait at this point. I can only go off of what the IRS has given out, and they really haven't given much information in the past week or so. So just to recap, your 5 options are: number 1, check the Get My Payment tool. Use those tips I shared earlier in the video to get a payment status, hopefully, or a payment status not available, to at least know that the IRS is processing your payment. Number 2, call the IRS. Give the numbers a chance, especially if you have a unique question that isn't just a when is my check coming, but you have a unique situation that you need answered from the IRS. Or you were supposed to receive your check weeks ago and it says you were supposed to receive it and you still haven't. I would give the IRS a call and give it a chance. The third option is the non-filers tool. Use the non-filers tool if you started receiving your benefits after the start of 2020. Because you are required to use the non-filers tool if you did not file taxes and started receiving your benefits after the start of 2020, or if there's a unique situation with dependents and where you aren't claimed in 2019 but you were in 2018, but that person isn't filing taxes in 2019, use the non-filers tool. And additionally, pretty much anyone that's not required to file taxes can use the non-filers tool. It's not required to use it if you receive any of SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad Retirement Benefits, or VA benefits, and as long as you're not required to file taxes, you may use the non-filers tool. The fourth option was to use the paper check mailing date schedule to see when you may be receiving a paper check. And the fifth option, like I said, just wait. Unfortunately, there are still so many people that haven't received their payments. You're not alone, and it's so frustrating that the IRS is taking so long and that people that need this money the most are still waiting, but the IRS is dragging their feet, and at this point, if you've exhausted all the other options, waiting is really the only thing you can do. Thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping that this is helpful and that at least gives you a little hope that there are people out there that still are waiting for their checks. You're not alone. But let me know in the comment section below if you have a question that I haven't answered, and I'll do my best to answer it. Thank you once again. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will talk to you again soon.